Welcome to the daily market outlook. We are about to check the charts and see what the market is offering us today. To start off, we are going to look at what the DXY. So the DXY on the weekly time frame, what we can see is that we have this zone which we built liquidity, or it is what our future target, which we want to see take out what send price action to the downside to this lows where it will likely what induce sellers, and it will be what the chance for us to what buy to the highs. So this is what I'm saying. We induce sellers and then we move to the highs. So before we induce sellers, we need to take out what the low. Currently, if we move on the 4 hour, what we can see is that the low is being respected. Well, we can see that this low is respecting price action, and we expect this low towards induce buyers. Once buyers are induced, we see what the trap of these people that cause the inducement. So currently what we can see is that we have this high, which is a high I'm looking at. I'm expecting price towards induce a little, then we see what the continuation back to the highs. So that's the idea for the DXY. So I'm bullish on the DXY, meaning I would like to see the other pairs move what to the downside. I'm talking about EURUSD, GBPUSD, and so for gold, I'm expecting what some longs on gold. So let's start with the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, what we can see is that what we have this lows that we want to see what go, and before we see that go, we need to see what's the inducement. You understand? We can see that we mitigated the zone and we have moved to the downside, trapped some buyers, induced sellers, building liquidity at this high. And I believe what we could see what price move all the way to this highs, induce buyers, then we would see the sell from here back to the lows. If we go to the 4 hour time frame, what we can see is that what we had an inducement, second inducement, and what we are looking for the entry. Right now, price action for gold is not the best. As you can see, what we rejected the move to the upside once, and we also was building liquidity at this low. So maybe we could see what's gold sell off. So be careful when you are looking for entries for gold. On EURUSD, starting with the weekly time frame, what we can see is that what price has mitigated the zone. We sold to the downside, causes break of structure. We are expecting this low, which is what's moving price to the upside. So for EURUSD, we would like to see what the inducement of buyers may be. Then we see the continuation back to the low. But there's a possibility that what we could see price continue from here all the way to the highs. But one thing is that these highs are what's going to go. So we are what bullish on EURUSD on the higher time frame. But for today's price action, we are what bearish, and we want to see what this logo before we want to see the buyers. So just like yesterday's market outlook, we are looking for what the inducements, then the shorts. So that will be Euro USD. Moving on to GBPUSD. GBPUSD is almost similar to Euro USD because you can see on the weekly we've taken out a high, respected the zone, moved to the upside, taking out this low, induced bias, and we want to see what's the continuation back to the lows. So when I jump to the 4 hour, you can see we induced bias. We've had this break of structure. We are looking for what the inducement, then the entry back to our what target, which is this low. So what we are searching for right now is what an inducement, then the shots back to this low. From there we would look forward to further shots. So this is where the similarity of GBPUSD and EURUSD happens. We want to see what this logo. So inducements, then shots For AUDUSD starting with the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, what we can see is that what we are expecting this high, which is causing price to move to the downside, and is what building liquidity at this low, which we want to see get taken out. When we open price action on the weekly time frame, what we can see is that what we are building out liquidity at this high, which is what's going to cause the inducement before we see the sell-off. What I'm saying is that this high is what's going to cause the inducement. Then we can see what the sell-off back to the lows for AUDUSD. So when we open price action on the daily, what we can see is that what we've mitigated it and we had this sell-off causing this breakout structure. It is just a breakout structure, so we should just be careful. But it could be what dangerous sometimes, and maybe you could see price move what to the highs, maybe to this high for the sell-off. AUDUSD is the only pair that's not correlating with the other USD pairs. All of them are correlating. I'm talking about EURUSD and GBPUSD, but AUDUSD isn't. So we have to be careful, because when they all correlate, it's better. If AUDUSD is done in a different direction, it could mean something else. So that'll be all for today's daily market outlook. Take care. Bye.